have to discuss Civil Procedure Code 1908. Today we are discussing section 113, 114 and 115. Section 113 relates to references, 114 relates to the review and 115 relates to the revision. These are said to be very important references in which law is also required when you do it. First we will discuss about reference. You are a judge and you are hearing a suit, or as a appellate court you are hearing an appeal, and some problem comes to you in that. You want a view, a third person's view. Third person, you are referring the matter to the third person. Here the matter has to be referred to your High Court. So while you refer the matter, you have to decide 2-3 points. One is whether this matter is referable to the High Court under section 113. Second, whether there is any law point of the High Court or Supreme Court or any other court on that point, or you have overcome all the restrictions. Referable means that there must be some suit or appeal must be pending and the decree should be non-appealable. This is one of the conditions. Or the execution of such decree is still pending. If you make a mistake, the law has to see whether there is any statutory remedy with the parties to correct your mistake by superior authority or not. So, it has been made the word non-appealable. You have to, while see referable, that the order which will pass shall not be appealable, and you are the final judge of the issue. Second question, you have to see that it is a pure question of law which you are framing for yourself. You are addressing a pure question of law to yourself which you have to refer. The third point is that there must be reasonable doubt on such question by the court trying the suit or appeal. It is not a fun case, but there should be serious doubt. Serious word has been used, serious. There has to be doubt about it. How you will find out that there is a doubt on it? One party is saying this thing, other party is saying different thing, they are proceeding different sections, they are saying statutory enactments, but none is citing the judgment of the Supreme Court or the High Court. And then you make out a question of law and you ask the party whether anybody has an answer to it. He will ask, it is my answer, he will have his answer. You will say, have you got any judgment of any court or High Court or Supreme Court? So, I may look into it and pronounce a judgment. This is called a serious dispute, and you have to find that there is a serious dispute which has to be referred. These are the points before you have to make up your mind. The next question is, who can refer? For that purpose, there is a order 46 rule 1, because references is connected with order 46 read with section 113 of the CPC. An application by any of the parties for moving the reference, if any application has come to you, you have to apply your mind whether there is a serious question of law. Second is suo moto. Also we can, if you are a judge, you can suo moto consider, I do not mind, I have to refer the matter to the Honorable High Court. And then what you will do, if you are decided to refer to the High Court, you will put the stay on the case. You will say, I am referring the matter to the High Court, I am putting a stay of myself to the suit, and it will be heard when the High Court will decide this issue. Secondly, you have a right also, if you do not have a serious dispute, you can pass an order contingent to the result of the High Court. The effect is your judgment will be, if set aside, if opinion is otherwise. You can do both the things, you are permitted under law. And now what the High Court will do? You have framed a question of law, you have put it to the parties and they are unable to answer. If they are able to answer, they are not supporting with any judgment. You have formulated your opinion on a paper and you will refer to the registrar of the Honorable High Court of your various state, because you can't write a letter to the Chief Justice. You will write through Registrar General. You will write a letter, you will send your opinion. My lord, we want opinion on this point. I have framed a question of law for which no ruling, no judgment is available. Kindly give your opinion on this point. Now, what the judge will do? He can return back the opinion to you, it is not complete. Make complete question of law, amend your opinion. And otherwise, the High Court can do. High Court can say, no, your opinion is not correct, or you have passed any degree as a judge, it can be set aside and it will be informed to you. This is a reference of provided under section 113 and under order 46, that how the reference arises, how it is framed, and how you send to the High Court of your own state, and how it is placed before a judge, and what the judge decides, it is communicated to you through Registrar General. So, with references, I will just compare this position with CPC also, CRPC also, because if we understand it in both the sense, we will be more clear about it. Section 395 of the Criminal Procedure Code also provides references to the High Court. I will read it out for you. Where any court is satisfied that a case is pending before it involves a question as to validity of any act, ordinance or regulation, or any provision contained in an act, ordinance and regulation, the determination of which is necessary for disposal of the case, and is of the opinion that the such act, ordinance, regulation or provision is invalid or inoperative, subordinate by the Supreme Court, the court shall state a case setting out his opinion and the reason therefore, and refer the same for the decision to the High Court. Same. You have to formulate a question of law, you have to give a reason of serious dispute, and you have to refer to the High Court. A court of session or metropolitan magistrate may, if it be, thinks fit in any case pending before it or him, to which the provision of subsection 1 do not apply, referred for decision of the High Court. So, it also applies as said in 113, lower court or appellate court. Here they have clearly mentioned the lower court and the session court both are authorized. Now, what they have to do? Any court making a reference to the High Court under subsection 1 or subsection 2 may, pending the decision of the High Court thereon, either commit the accused to the jail or release him on bail on appeal when called upon. As they can stay in a civil suit, he can commit into jail or can release him on bail. This is the discretion of the court. And there is another provision in the Constitution relating thereto, that is Article 228. Transfer of certain cases to High Court. High Court has also suo motu power about it. If the High Court is satisfied that a case pending in a case court subordinate to it involves a substantial question of law as to the interpretation of the Constitution, the determination of which is necessary for the disposal of the case, it shall withdraw the case and may either dispose of itself or determine the said. If question of law involves interpretation of the Constitution, then the High Court will himself call about it and say, ki I will discuss this, I will suo motu this. So, question of reference is in Civil Procedure Code. The similar language is in CRPC, and their constitutional power also with small interpretation, that there is a question law which involves the interpretation of the Constitution of India. There can be a law which, whether all the laws if interpreted it will involve the interpretation of the Constitution of India. That can also be seen while deciding reference under Article 2 to 8. Now, we come to review. The people are discussing and talking about the review means, for it there is a provision of order 47 with this. Any person considering himself aggrieved by a decree or order for which an appeal is allowed by this court, but from which no appeal has been preferred, by a decree or order from which no appeal is allowed by this court, or by a decision or a reference from a court of small cause, may apply for review of the judgment of the court. I normally mention that that relates to the party of the suit and also for a third party to apply. If third party comes and finds that there is a mistake in the judgment and he is aggrieved, then he can also apply for it. I want to cite a small judgment on this point of Supreme Court, that the third party can also file a review, because the word is any person. The people will look at your face when you will say that not only the parties, but any person agreed means third party can come to for review. People will look at your face because the people does not know the complete law. I do not mean that I know the law, because law is such a thing that nobody is complete. We are practicing throughout the life. We are never a master of the practice. So, it is one of the view of the Supreme Court quoted in Naresh Kumar Badri Kumar Jagad versus O.P. Singh, reported in 2018 Supreme Court 1184. So, if you like, I will read few lines for you for that purpose. That is para 19, because it is an important question which you have to come across. The people will ask you, you are saying that the third party can come for review. When I will discuss about appeal, I will also make my statement that third person can also file the appeal if he is aggrieved. That is a provision in the law, the judgment of the Supreme Court throughout that. So, for that purpose I am informing you that review can be filed by the third party, and this is the judgment. What happened in this case is that the Union of India was owner of the property. Some parties litigated with each other and tried to dispossess the union. The matter was decided by lower court, high court, and matter was pending before the Supreme Court. Then they moved an application before Supreme Court of review, which was allowed and held, that the Supreme Court shall have power to review any judgment pronounced or other made by it. The Supreme Court has framed the rules regarding it. Therefore, we have no hesitation in initiating that even a third party to the proceedings, if he consider himself an agreed person, may take recourse to the remedy of review petition. The quintessence is that the person should be agreed by a judgment and order passed by the court in same respect. So, this is the law, because the people will ask you about it somewhere. This appears that everybody asks you, a judgment has been pronounced against me and I want to get a review of it. You can say yes, if you are a third party, there is a judgment in your favor. The similar view is, the not similar, contrary view is section 362 of the CRPC. They say, save otherwise provided with this court or by any other law for the time being in force, no court, when it has signed a judgment or final order disposing of a case, shall alter or review the same except to correct clerical or arithmetical error. The CRPC says no order can be corrected, no review at all. Review is foreign to the criminal law. However, there is an inherent jurisdiction to do so under criminal law, but they say we can only correct a clerical or arithmetic error. Once we pronounce a judgment, it becomes a final, you go to the appellate court or to the revisional court or take appropriate proceedings and do it. But they were right to correct arithmetical error and mathematical errors and any other error which is apparent on the face of the record. There is small difference. It is a civil procedure code which provides the review, a large scope. I am saying a large scope, but very limited scope for review. I will just inform you, it is very difficult to review a judgment unless you have a concrete evidence, full-fledged proof, or there is a error, there is a perversity, illegality you can point out and you can satisfy a man who has passed a judgment ki please change your mind. Changing a mind does not mean changing a mind of a man, it means changing a mind of a court, entire court, changing the mind of the court. So, here they say we will do this also. There is a constitutional provision under article 137, a review of a judgment or order by the Supreme Court. Even the Supreme Court can review the judgments, they have got their own rules also. The Supreme Court shall have power to review any judgment pronounced, order made it. So, power of the review has been vested in Civil Procedure Code under section 114, read with order 47. In Criminal Procedure Code also, to a limited extent of correcting arithmetical or mathematical error. But in Supreme Court, he has a full power to review his own judgment by a third party or by a party. So, this is a matter of review and I have cited a judgment on it also. Now, we will come to the section 115, revision. After reference and review, we think of a revision, filing a revision. Some case has been decided by the court, lower court, and you have to file a revision. You are agreed by the order. If you are agreed by the order, you have to see to which court I have to go for a revisional court. The CPC provides revision to the High Court, but in certain states there is a local amendment whereby the power of the district judge for admitting and hearing the revision has been delegated to the district judges also. So, the load on the High Court should be reduced. For that we will just go through the 115 CPC, then we will compare later on. There is a vast difference between CPC and I will just read it for you. The High Court may call for the record of any case which has been decided by any court subordinate to such High Court and in such no appeal lies. And if such subordinate court appears to have exercised a jurisdiction not vested in it by law or have failed to exercise a jurisdiction so vested or to have acted in exercise of jurisdiction illegally or with material illegality, High Court may make such an order in the case as it thinks fit, provided that the High Court shall not under this section vary or reverse any order made or any order deciding an issue in the course of a suit or other proceedings, except where the order, if it had been made in favor of a party applying for revision, would have finally disposed of the suit or other proceeding. So, here we have to discuss about what is final order, what is intermediary order and what is interlocutory order. He has said directly ki we will take and admit those revisions also, whereby the party who is coming to us has to show that if revision is allowed, the whole suit will be decided. The issue which he has raising, which he can't later on raise in the later appeal, and at this juncture he is able to make a relief for himself. So, the High Court shall not under this section vary or reverse any decree or order against which an appeal lies added to the High Court. Second question, we have to see that if the order is appealable, we have to make an appeal. The purpose is the Honorable High Court and Supreme Court all are asking the litigants that you first get a judgment from the lower court, then if it is available before district judge, you go to appeal before district judge, or if the appeal is before the High Court, and you make your entire grievances in that appeal. But the party says that in the midway that there is a failure of justice to be. The procedure has caused failure of justice to be, and I want to raise this issue before the superior court, because I can't tolerate that there should be failure of justice to be. Failure of justice is such a word which ask everyone to stop. Tell us what is your grievances, go to revision, tell them the grounds, and the High Court in revision will ask you, your order is interlocutory, intermediatory or final order. If it is a final order, if it is not appealable, we will discuss it, because if you allow, your proceedings will be disposed of in the lower court accordingly. We should discuss some small ruling on this point about the interlocutory order, that what is interlocutory order and what is intermediatory order. There is a small judgment is before me, that is about V.C. Shukla versus State through CBI, that is reported in AIR 9080 Supreme Court, page 962. It defines interlocutory order, intermediatory order and the final order. The section has already stated 115 that there will be no revision against interlocutory order. In criminal law, there is a revision against intermediatory order, and it is not a final order. They have mentioned in 115 that this should decide the whole suit. I was reading 115, the conditions which they have asked is explanation of 115. In this section, the expression any case which has been decided includes any order made or any order deciding an issue in the course of a suit or other proceedings which may decide the whole suit. No order under this section shall be prejudice of the doing so by the revisional court. And the revision shall not operate as a stay of suit or other proceedings before the court except where and other proceedings have to be decided. I have already stated before you, you have to read the judgment of Supreme Court reported in AIR 9080 Supreme Court 962 before you go for a revision, and you have to see what is interlocutory order, what is intermediatory order and what is the final order. And there is another thing also, that you have to show that there is a failure of justice to you, you should stay your hand, ask the lower court to stay its hand and dispose of this matter at this juncture. And there is another judgment on this point is University of Hyderabad versus Sadiq Hussain and others, which contains the entire judgment of the Supreme Court after 1980, and also discuss okay, what is interlocutory order, what is intermediatory order and what is a final order, and how the revision will be admitted and taken into consideration. Now, comparing this with the CRPC, we will have to find out the provisions in the CRPC. There is a rather larger version because it is criminal law. There is a human body is involved in it. The human body is captured. If your human body is captured by law, the law has to be very serious. It should be made by the parliament. Now, we are discussing only revision, not any other thing, so I should not deviate myself to other issues. We are looking to the CRPC under section 397, the revisional powers. In Civil Procedure Code, it is 115, and in Criminal Procedure Code, it is 397. There are three provisions different, which I will come to it, what is the differences. Calling for records to exercise power of revision. The High Court or any session judge may call for and examine the record of any proceedings before any inferior criminal court situated within its local jurisdiction for purposes of satisfying itself or himself to the correctness, legality, propriety or any finding. The word is correctness, legality and propriety. There the word was error of jurisdiction, exercise of jurisdiction, exceeding of jurisdiction, material illegality and illegality and perversity, that was under 115. But here only the judge has to see correctness, but in correctness everything is covered. Whether the order is correct or not, or whether my state has a jurisdiction or not, whether the law has been properly applied to it, is all is covered in correctness. And legality, law is covered, and property. So, this language is there, which is almost similar to the Civil Procedure Code, but have a different scope also while deciding the case. There are certain explanation on this regard, and there is another section of section 399, that was of the High Court, and this is of the session judge, because it is criminal law. People are very serious, the parliament is very serious, judicial is very sensitive to the person, that a person has been arrested and a trial has been taken and a proper opportunity of hearing should be given to him, and it is the guaranteed justice should be given to him. So, for that also different provisions has been made. So, the power has also been given to the session judge. Section 399, session judge power of revision. In a case of any proceeding, the recorder which has been called for himself, the session judge may exercise all or any of the powers which may be exercised by the High Court under subsection 1 of section 401. We have to read 397 with 401, they are both connected. 401 says what the High Court will do and 397 say how to do. So, 397 there is a 399 there is a power to the session judge also for revision. So, that is also suo motu. The judge can also suo motu call the record of the lower court and see that whether in his jurisdiction, in his supervision, in his superintendent, the law is being giving justice to the people according to law or not, or my state is giving judicial finding properly and there is no perversity in the judgment, that he can see. The rest is 401. I have said that this is with the 397. Once the file is summoned by the High Court, what will do? They say in the case of any proceedings, the recorder which has been called by itself or which otherwise comes to the knowledge of the High Court may in discretion exercise. So, means suo motu power with full jurisdiction to look into the matter, set it aside or decree it. This power is also mentioned in CPC and CRPC. And thereafter, we come to the comparatively to the Constitution of India. Under Constitution of India, power of superintendence has been given in Article 227. Article 227 provides that every High Court shall have superintendence over all courts and tribunals throughout the territories in reaction to which it exercises jurisdiction. We were discussing about the CPC, it relates to the court. We were discussing about the CRPC relates to the court. But now they say that every High Court shall have superintendent over all courts and tribunals. They have added tribunals also, for which it exercises jurisdiction. Without prejudice to the generality of foregoing provisions, the High Court may call for returns of such documents, make and issue general rules and prescribe forms for regulating the practice and proceedings of such courts, and prescribe forms of which books, entries and accounts shall be kept in offices as much. The High Court may also settle tables of fees for so and so, provided that any rules make. Nothing in this article shall be deemed to confer on High Court a power of superintendence over any court or tribunal constituted by the armed forces. There is a small difference. The jurisdiction under Article 227 subsection 1 is there, that every High Court shall have superintendence power, and this is the reason that they come under Article 227 also. I think you must have gone through all these judgments which I have cited, and you might have noted all those things which I have suggested you to write down at your table. You should have CPC with you, you should have criminal procedure code with you, you should have constitution with you. And if you want to see any other judgment on interlocutory order, that is of Fazlali Justice Saab, that is about Ram Singh Banam State, decided on 7 December 1979. Actually, you should have come prepared after reading it, because I am not a class teacher, I am not an academic teacher. I will discuss with you what practical problems you will face while you apply for your when you apply and come as a lawyer, actual differences, actual schemes, and if you go for a judicial, it is okay. You will also like these things